Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for August 12th through 16th, 2024. We didn't get any Port Charles pipelines this week, but some good news about a horrible thing. 4 suspects were arrested in the fatal shooting of General Hospital's actor Johnny Wachter.
Yes, I was so happy to see that.
Yes.
Justice.
So, yeah. On Thursday afternoon, it was released. This is just from NBCnews.com. 4 people were arrested in connection with the fatal shooting of Johnny Wachter, the General Hospital actor who authorities say was gunned down in May after he interrupted a catalytic converter theft. In a statement, the LA Police Department identified 3 suspects arrested on suspicion of murder. I'm not going to read their names because they don't deserve it.
Right.
But 18 years old, 18 years old, 18 years old.
Ugh.
The one that's being accused of being an accessory was 22.
Wow.
They were arrested and evidence was discovered after the department's Central Homicide Bureau carried out search warrants at locations throughout Los Angeles, the statement said. Jail records showed that bail was set at $2 million. It wasn't clear whether they have lawyers to speak on their behalf.
What's a lawyer going to say? Like, what's the defense for that? Give me a break.
Right.
But how sad. Not that any age is appropriate to be killing people, but to have just thrown away your whole life at 18 over a catalytic converter.
Right. And it says in a statement, Mayor Karen Bass thanked the police department and said authorities must ensure that those responsible for this brazen and heinous act are held fully accountable. Wachter, 37, was fatally shot overnight on May 25th after he finished a bartending shift in downtown LA and found 3 men who had raised his car with a floor jack and were stealing his catalytic converter, police said. One of the attackers shot Wachter without provocation. And then it just goes on to talk about that they fled in a dark sedan. He was pronounced dead at the hospital, a little bit more about his background and about the friend that he was with. The friend that he saved. I'm not even going to say the friend that he was with. The friend that he saved, because he did.
Really?
So, yeah. There's that. I mean, that's like it is what it is. And then, kind of had a crazy week. So this week's 411 is going to be a different subject. You want to tell us about it?
We are going to do Miguel, since we found out that Blaze is getting to be on his tour this upcoming next few months. So I am excited to relive the Ricky Martin days. And then we'll get back to Bobby. Well, most likely, I can't promise that, but we'll get back to Bobby the following week.
See, I did not even get to live the Ricky Martin days, so...
Oh, no!
Well, it was Karen and Jagger time. You should know that by now.
Oh, that's right. But it all just meshes in my mind, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
oh, man.
I think I started watching more regularly after he had left.
Oh, you missed out. I feel bad for you. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it. So, all right. And then for the, the thing on Hulu, the Hulu headlines. on Monday, Blaze receives a tempting offer. Willow makes a life-altering decision. Nina confides in Maxie. Harley gets a big surprise. Anna makes a realization. On Tuesday, Sonny confides in Jason. Kristina makes a bittersweet decision. Carly warns Ava. Tracy gives Violet a history lesson. That was the sweetest.
Oh my God. That was the best part of the whole week.
It really was. And John details his new plan. On Wednesday, Sasha takes Michael's advice to heart. Cody learns from Tracy. Jocelyn opens up to Gio. Willow makes a confession. Sonny makes an offer. On Thursday, Maxie is alarmed. Michael issues an unexpected invitation. Cody attempts a rescue. Felicia gives Mac a piece of her mind. And Jason updates Sonny. And on Friday, Jason hits pay dirt. Laura gets a distressing call that might make me quit watching the show. If they do something, John makes a shocking arrest. Molly and TJ face a heartbreaking choice. Sonny makes a promise to Kristina. So I feel like we can kind of start anywhere. And my notes are kind of all over the place because I wound up getting slammed. And I was like, I literally have to listen. Okay, so just my disclaimer. I was working and listening to it in the background. So if I missed something, oops, sorry.
Understood. I feel like I want to start with I'm mad. I'm so mad. I understand Kristina needing space from Blaze, Allison, whatever, and needing to take her own time. I feel like it would be fine that Blaze would understand that and take a step back and let Kristina grieve what she needs to on her own, but also be there for support and whatever. And instead, Kristina's like, no, I need you to just go and do what's best for you because I don't know when I'm going to be in a place to do anything with you. And I get that on like the being unselfish, that's how you should be for your loved one. Like, yes, go do what you need to do or whatever. But the fact that then Sonny turns around and is like, here, I'll dump all this money into deception so that Natalia can stay. No, Natalia is the one who messed up Blaze's whole career to begin with. If she wouldn't have said the things that she said, then it wouldn't have been leaked and she wouldn't have to be desperate to go on. Not that Miguel's tour, I'm sure it's a wonderful opportunity, no matter what, but she would have other options instead of being forced into this after her girlfriend just has suffered this traumatic loss. She does not deserve to stay. I wanted whenever we went to deception and Tracy was like, absolutely not. We're not taking Sonny's money. I was like, right. We're not taking Sonny's money. You need to go back to Puerto Rico, girlfriend, because I'm over you. You have stayed too long.
Well, and okay, so Natalia did ask Kristina, and you could tell, and I feel like this is perhaps one of the first times it was hurting Natalia to even ask Kristina to do that. Like, I really, really do think that it was.
Yes,
because
she definitely.
How we found out was Blaze hadn't been allowed to see Kristina yet.
Right.
And so she's like pacing back and forth. Brooklyn's like, well, I sent you that email last night. Do you want to talk about it? And she's like, I didn't have time to read it. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, I know She knew what she's talking about. That's when Brooklyn says, you get to be the opening act for Miguel's opening because the opener fell out. You're being asked. And she says that the only reason she's getting this chance is because of that. Okay, first of all, musicians nowadays have more than one opening act very frequently. Very frequently, there is like the pre-opening act, which does 15, 20 minutes. And then there's the opening act that does 30 to 45. And then there's the act.
Right.
So, Blaze would have been, in my opinion, the middle one. She would have been the opening act. But of course, we don't even know who the other opening act was. So perhaps they are bigger than Blaze. But I feel like she's an established person, right? I feel like she has a fan base and everything.
Right. And we know that Miguel should be aware of her, not just because of all the publicity around her mother's statements, but because they both worked for Link.
Yep, exactly. So I didn't even think about that back when I was having my whole big epiphany of Lois talking to Brooklyn and Brooklyn saying, can you talk to, Miguel, or, Brooklyn talking to Lois, and then Lois talking to Brenda, and then Brenda being like, hey, I still talk to him. You're exactly right. They were both on Link's label. So in addition to all the personal connections that he has with people in Port Charles, he could have seen what was happening and been like, man, this girl can just not catch a break.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get her in on this tour, and maybe he's not aware of what just happened with Kristina. So therefore it makes sense that maybe he doesn't know that, and he was just trying to like offer a lending hand, but yeah. So Blaze says no. She goes and tells Kristina. Kristina does exactly like you said and is like, no, you have to leave. She's kind of right, though, with you don't know who I'm even going to be when I get out of here, and you could wind up resenting me. And so I think that was very, very forward thinking of her to be 20 steps ahead.
Right. I don't think it was wrong of her to encourage Blaze to go. And I get that Blaze wasn't going to just accept it and be like, oh, okay, that's what you said. Like, she needed Kristina to give a little tough love and be like, go ahead, and do this, and we'll see where we're at after that. I just didn't like the fact that it was like Kristina had already decided before Blaze even walked in, like as soon as she heard, that's it, you're done. There was no conversation. And I don't care how much someone loves me, like listen to my side and hear what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. And then, like I said, Natalia just doesn't deserve to stay in Port Charles. Get out.
Oh yeah, because then she goes to Sonny and is like, I just wanted to say bye. What?
Right. I'm going home to Puerto Rico. It's not like you have a private jet that can take you there anytime that you want to and don't own half of the islands around me. Like, come on.
Right. But also, we didn't necessarily even see, I mean, I know that we've kind of been speculating that maybe they're doing something, but we didn't really see them getting romantic, right?
No, they have not been romantic.
Other than dinner, but it's been other than us just being, oh, of course, Sonny's having a drink with a woman, therefore she's going to be pregnant next Tuesday. But, people can just be friends. Maybe he wants to get along with the mother of his daughter's girlfriend.
Oh, that'd be interesting if she did get pregnant, because then Kristina would be the baby's sister. And if Blaze and her end up working things out and getting married, then the baby's sister-in-law too.
No.
This is my sister-in-law. What?
Right? Exactly. No. But so then, Sonny calls Brooklyn and asks her to come over, and Lois goes with her.
Of course she does.
Is very like, no, this is not happening. And then Brooklyn brings it back to Tracy, and they talk about this bank. The bank wants to invest. It's a fully vetted bank. And Tracy's like, wait a second, a local bank wants to just give us millions of dollars. Is it Port Charles National? Like, what is it? I forget the names of the banks that she said. But when Brooklyn tells her, she's like, oh, no. But Lois at the meantime, was it at that same time that Lois had gone to Sonny? Or was Lois sitting at the table with Tracy? Okay. She wasn't with Brooklyn when she was talking to Tracy.
No. She showed up after.
Okay. So then Lois is double checking with Sonny that the money's clean. Jason shows up, and Sonny's like, Jason, you want to tell her where the money comes from? He's like, Corinthos Coffee, and we're audited throughout the year multiple times, and we always pass.
Right.
But I have a question. Okay, so we know that Lois became the in-person face of deception because she was already being involved with the deception, right?
Right.
What was her role before she became the in-person spokesperson?
Was she just an investor or something? I don't know, because she didn't do anything.
Well, so my question is, and Tracy is a smart businesswoman. She is not going to let personal feelings towards somebody get in the way of business if they are good at it. Mm-hmm. Why is Lois not the CFO? She is Little Miss Numbers.
Right. You're 100% correct.
Why was that not her job?
Yeah.
Why did they not get a CFO after they lost all that money the first time? And then, Brooklyn brought up the point that you're a liability, even though you're behind the scenes. What you just did is not cool.
Right.
And she's like, okay, no one's even going to know that we're here. If Deception is a publicly traded company, because they talk about shares, right?
Yes.
I feel like they're a big enough company that you would know of a C-level employee's change or addition to the team.
Right.
People are going to know.
Exactly. It's not like you're hiring her to be the janitor. Like, that's going to be published somewhere, her name and her information. We've already had to change a campaign completely once around her because of what she said and did. And now we're going to have her in our everyday. And who is she? Like, she's standing there saying, oh, I'll run the numbers and everything. If I see anything shady, I will back down myself because I don't want to put that type of spotlight on your company. How can you say that we should trust you're that kind of person whenever you already put bad spotlight on our company?
Oh, I loved when Tracy kind of tore into her and Natalia was like, that was so many insults all at once.
Tracy's very good. Thank you.
Tracy quipped back with something. I can't remember what it was, but it was so, Tracy was awesome this week. Can we just throw that out there?
Yes.
But I don't know. I don't feel like it makes sense. I feel like they've already had to fire her as having anything to do with Blaze and their company.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're going to bring her in for that. We did you mention that Blaze fired her?
Oh, no, I did not.
That's
yeah, right.
why she went to Sonny's.
Yep.
Is because Blaze was heartbroken. They were at the airport. She's giving her ticket. Here's people going to get you through TSA faster.
Right.
And Blaze tells her that she is. I think what happened was when Natalia told her she has to snap out of it. No, if you really cared about your daughter with all of this, you'd be like, honey, listen, I understand this is absolutely heartbreaking. And I know that Kristina's hurting and I know that you're hurting. She was doing what's best for you, and you are going to be okay, and not snap out of it.
Right. And encouraging her like, hey, you could FaceTime each other still. Like Kristina did not say she's never going to talk to you again. She said that she needs space. So, you can start out with weekly FaceTimes and then build that back up again. And I'm sure you'll have some type of break over the holidays. You could come back to Port Charles then and see Kristina. Like she should totally be encouraging that the relationship's definitely going to work out. It's just taking a little break right now for Kristina to recover physically and emotionally from her loss.
Oh, and I guess, sorry, we're like kind of going backwards too. When Sonny called Brooklyn, the reason that he even has the funds to do that with deception is because now the record company is off the table.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But then Sonny's like, well, I'm just going to be a silent investor. Dude, you were a silent investor in the 90s. And that's what Lois was kind of going at him for was, I remember what you did in the 90s.
Yes.
It was not good.
No.
I don't know. So the big question is, do we think we're actually going to see Ricky Martin?
Oh, I hope so. That would be amazing.
I hope so too. They better.
I need to hear some Livin' La Vida Loca, sorry.
I still feel, okay, so obviously they did not take my suggestions, but I still feel like perhaps Blaze could come back on the Port Charles leg of the tour and sing She's All I Ever Had to Kristina.
Yeah, right.
I still really liked my storyline a lot better.
I agree.
And not just because I wrote it. I just thought that it really wrapped up everything and that it incorporated real life experiences.
Yes.
Much better than what's happening, but I don't know. So I guess we'll see. I mean, it'll be nice. I have no creative way to bring him back now. Other than it'll just be on the Port Charles stop.
Yeah. And then I didn't like the way that they're handling Kristina. I just don't like any of the stuff with Kristina. The way that they're handling Kristina and Molly and TJ. Like, I thought we were either going to have Molly and Kristina grieving together and kind of leave TJ out, or we were going to have Kristina and TJ mourning and kind of leave Molly out and see, like, make some weird triangle that way or something. And instead, just kind of all three of them are on their own. And Molly just keeps saying, oh, I just can't do this. I can't do this. Well, you're letting your spouse down and you're going to regret it yourself later that you didn't have any part in making the arrangements that need to be done. And he even said to her, the distraction of work, is it working? And she was like, no. Well, okay, then stop.
But he's not even coming from an actual place of concern. Like, he's yelling at her. And that's the thing. He's attacking her. So it's not even where he is being sympathetic and saying, so how's that working out for you? You know?
Right.
And her saying, like, when she was saying, I'm trying to keep busy, I'm trying to do this, he's like, I really don't care what you're trying to do. I need you.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because then he gets the great idea. Oh, well, so Kristina told Molly about the pictures and she showed Molly the pictures. And you saw this look on Molly's face as she's looking through them, like, she kept going back to the one of Kristina pointing her finger and yelling at Ava.
Yeah.
And then later in the week, TJ goes to see Ava and he says, I need to know from your perspective, because he had found out that Molly approached her.
Mm-hmm.
She tells him the same story that she's been telling everyone else, that Kristina came as a lunatic it's her fault that this happened. And TJ said that. TJ said, so what happened to my baby is Kristina's fault.
Right.
And Molly, when Alexis was at the hospital helping Kristina prepare to be discharged, Molly was there. And that's when we found out that Molly, how she was feeling. And she's like, why couldn't she just keep her mouth shut? All she had to do was wait 3 weeks.
Right.
You know,
I already
while
explained everything to her. It wasn't like she didn't understand.
Right. So why did she have to go and do this? Alexis didn't excuse away Kristina, but at the same time, she's like, well, it was the timing, you know?
Right.
And
Molly wouldn't have done things any differently because she would have, when she was having the discussion with Jagger, she was like in his face and like going after him the same way that Kristina was going after Ava. Like, the Davis girls don't back down. So why in the world would Kristina think by going and confronting Ava that she would end up out a window? Like, that's not a normal thought process, no matter what. Like, yes, avoid stress, blah, blah, blah. But having a simple conversation with someone because you're upset about something is not something that your doctor's like, no, don't talk to anyone because you might get stressed out, even whenever you're pregnant.
Right.
So that was a normal reaction and conversation that she expected to go and have. She'd never expected to trip or be pushed or anything else and fall out a window.
No. And then, I don't know.
Then, well, we see Molly is at the hospital because she's meeting TJ and Stella because Stella is helping them write up the whatever they need to actually secure the plot at the cemetery.
I am glad that Stella told them they do not have to name the baby right now because it's obviously a very, very difficult thing. And
yeah, but now they keep talking about the birth certificate, and Molly's going to be all angry that it's going to list Kristina as the mother.
It's not going to be on it. Yeah. Oh, did they say that?
They didn't, but that's how it is because that was the whole point.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of why Kristina wouldn't sign away her parental rights, was because until Molly could formally adopt the baby, if Kristina signed away her rights, the baby wouldn't have any mother.
I don't even know.
I don't like the storyline, and I don't like that we're just going to keep making it as complicated as possible so we can continue having more fights over this topic. Like, let's just get it done and move forward. I really do want the surrogate to be pregnant still. Like, let's move on to that storyline. That would be fun to see that fight. And Molly in court with Alexis fighting for their baby back. That would be great.
Part of me was thinking that because Molly was so, Ava's going to pay, because then Kristina even told her, don't worry, she's going to get what's coming to her. But then she mentioned about, oh goodness, what was it that, because the photos alone, that's how Kristina showed the photos to Molly. That's right. I thought that perhaps Molly was going to break and take it upon herself to take care of Ava.
Oh, that would be good.
That's what makes her snap. Because I could see that happening. You know, she might not have, but I guess not.
Right.
Not like I want Molly to be a murderer, but, you know.
I mean, it would be interesting.
It would be. So then, what else? What else happened around that?
I don't know that there was anything. Oh, Willow. This was the week Willow went to see, or did she see her last week? But Willow.
No, but it was this week. It was the first day because Willow helped Kristina with her IV because, you know, all the other nurses are busy. I'm sorry.
Yep. You're currently not in the medical field. You should have called her nurse.
Right.
But
you're not licensed at that facility. Like, don't you have to be? She's licensed.
She's licensed.
She's not working. She doesn't have privileges. Isn't that what they give the doctors? The privileges.
Right.
If you are in the field and somebody is on the sidelines and needs emergency care, yes, 100%, absolutely do it, Willow.
Right.
Don't do it because, and then use the disguise of, oh, they're probably busy. Let me just do it because you feel like getting back into it. No.
Right. It wasn't a matter of life or death. It was a twisted up IV line.
Well, I mean, that does hurt, but
she would have been okay for another minute or so. It would have been fine. But yeah, she goes to talk to her about understanding the loss of a child and just kind of saying, like, it
I
doesn't
did think that was good.
yeah, it doesn't get easier. It just becomes part of your life. And so then you can incorporate it into the other parts of your life. And so it was a nice, like, heart to heart that they had. And then, yeah, she leaves Kristina's room and goes to see Elizabeth and is like, are you still short staffed? Which, first of all, is a stupid question because the medical field is always short staffed. But are you still short staffed? Because I think I want my job back. I'm going to quit the center and then just come back here because I miss taking care of my patients. And even Liz is like, didn't you quit because you wanted to spend more time with your kids? Like, do you remember the hours? You're going to be right back to that.
Right.
And she's like, nope, this is what I want to do. And then she
Well,
goes,
she did say that there's going to be more travel involved than I realized there was going to be. And it kind of made it sound like, yeah, even if it's the hours are longer at the hospital, at least she's in Port Charles. Even though she might get home after bedtime, she'll at least be able to go give the kids a goodnight kiss, something like that.
yeah, but the trip that Drew was talking about them taking last week was not like a 6-month tour. It was,
No.
let's go for a weekend to this convention. And I'm sure that Michael and the kids could have gone if she wanted them to. Even if the convention didn't say that, like, Michael has enough money, just go get a hotel room and fly the kids over there.
Right. They could go stay at a water park with the nanny that they have while
Right.
mom's working, and then they all hang out afterwards because those things do not go like all day and night.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know.
I understand being attracted to someone, and I understand not wanting to be attracted to someone whenever you're in a committed relationship, but like, she's just over the top. Drew walks in the door and she's like, oh my gosh, I can't even, like, look at you. I don't even know how to talk. I can't even stand in the same room. Like, oh my God, give me a break.
Yeah. Well, because then Willow went to see Nina to talk about it.
Nina came to ask Willow, like, was she sure about making this decision to quit the foundation, as Willow is trying to find her sun hat. And so then they sat down and had, like, a heart to heart.
Yeah, because now they're such great mother and daughter, and now we're walking out of the room arm
Yeah.
arm around each other's waists.
Right, exactly. You're the best mom ever.
Oh, but then Nina's great idea of how to protect her daughter is to keep Drew busy. Like, that's just gross. And the worst part is that Drew knows that she knows.
Right.
I could almost see it as being a halfway, 10% somewhat understandable idea if he did not know.
Right.
He knows that she knows. He should feel disgusted with himself. Because also he's making goo-goo eyes at Willow in the boathouse.
Right.
So it's not like it was really just... And then, I'm sorry. She, seriously, she's like, I just can't stop thinking about you, and steps towards him. And I just don't want to do something that I'm going to regret. Then don't step towards him.
Right, exactly. Like, I was waiting for her to, like, take her shirt off. I don't want to do something I might regret. Here, let me take my clothes off for you. And like you said, if Drew, mistakes happen. If it would have been, oops, this was a kiss that came out of nowhere with no feelings, it shouldn't have happened, whatever, then maybe you can see Drew going back to Nina. But considering he acts just as swept up in Willow's presence as she does for him, there is no reason that he should then be okay with going back to hook up with Nina. And even Nina, who sometimes does not have the best self-respect for herself, even under the guise of, oh, I'm doing this for my daughter, she just felt gross. Like, I don't want to hook up with anyone who's fantasizing about hooking up with someone else, especially if it's my daughter. But
let alone my daughter. Like, there's that.
But anyone else, period. Like, no.
Oh, just so disgusting.
Yeah. The whole thing is just ick.
Well, Maxie agrees.
Yes. She's like, what are you doing, Nina? Why?
Or she said, your aura's glowing. Lucy says that her aura's glowing after Scott. Oh my gosh, Nina, you didn't.
Yeah. And Nina just excuses it away again and is like, well, I had to keep him away from Willow. I didn't mean for him to stay the night, but it did turn into a long morning. But thanks for inviting me now to the park to say hi to everyone.
Right. Mm.
And then they're in the park, throwing the frisbee
Mac
around.
And Spinelli are playing frisbee.
With Bradford's daughters in the background.
What's that?
Yes, the two little girls that were playing, like by the tree behind in the background. Those were Bradford's daughters.
Okay, I know one is named Finola, and the other one is, and it's not after Finola Hughes.
Right. I don't know what their names are, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, I should know this. I've listened to their podcast so much. Hold on, we're getting there. Kids. They have 2 daughters. Well, come on, give their names. Daughter? No, come on. I love when they do that. Oh, you know what would have been great is if Harper had been in the background with them too.
That would have been cute.
That's Kirsten Storm's daughter.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, how old is she now?
Too old. Isn't she like 10?
I don't know. So Finola is the youngest one. Juna is the first one.
Okay.
Finola's 10 and Juna's 12.
Okay.
So how old is Harper? Hold on. Because Kirsten was right there. So, she's 11. So yeah, she's even their age.
That would have been adorable.
Oh, where did you see that? I didn't see that. Well, I didn't really do a lot this week, like on social media.
Yeah, it was a Facebook article that popped up. So
I forgot to post.
I think Bradford's their podcast like mentioned it. Like it was one of the headlines. Like I've had the notifications for theirs. That was like 2 new stars on General Hospital.
That's so sweet. I love that. That's sweet. Yeah, I actually forgot to post Bobby Part 8 on social media until this morning.
Oh, okay.
So, 3 days late. It's okay.
Yep, that's fine.
It happens.
But anyway, they're in the park.
But anyway, yeah, back to the show.
Yeah, and James is still pouting and angry about not being able to take lessons from Cody. And it felt kind of weird that like all the adults were there with just like one kid. Like, why do we need 10 adults to supervise one child? And then we still lost him anyway because we were all tied up in our own conversation.
As parents like play dates too.
I'm not saying that parents don't like play dates. I love play dates, but I don't usually take my whole family along with me for one kid.
No, you're right. Yeah.
So both grandmas, grandpa, stepdad, like everybody there for one kid. Anyway, so he sneaks off.
Well, I could see them trying to get James. James has complained before about having too many women. And so trying to get him engaged with Mac and Spinelli. And we all know that Mac isn't the biggest Spinelli fan, although I feel like he is coming on board. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that was the plan. Or just to even cheer him up because he was in a grumpy mood. But he sneaks off and goes to the Quartermaines like expected. But instead of going to the stables first, he goes to the boathouse and is playing with a frisbee there. And before that, he hears Willow and Nina come up. And so he hides in the boathouse. And I'm like, this is such a wasted conversation for this kid to overhear because
I loved watching him just huffing and rolling his eyes and like hearing something like,
right.
James was all of us this week. Let's be honest.
That's true. It's like, can you guys just hurry up? We're tired of hearing about this already. But I just don't see realistically, like usually when they have someone over here, it's because that person is going to be the one that spills the beans somewhere else. I just don't know realistically how they're going to write that out. That James is going to be like, wait, Willow, you and Grandma Nina were kissing the same guy? Like, why would that
Maybe he might say something to Nina.
He might. We'll see, but I don't know how they're going to write that in any way realistically. But Willow and Nina go back up to the main house and are going to the beach. Well, Willow's going to the beach with Michael and them. And James starts playing with the frisbee and it goes into the water and then he falls over the thing into the water and he can't swim and he's going to drown. And then Cody saves the day.
Well, and I liked, the Sasha Cody thing is getting, I don't know.
I just feel like it's time for them to go there. Like, and that's kind of what what this week was whenever she had whatever talk with Michael that was like, go for it. And so she went and grabbed him and kissed him. And then they were going to go upstairs and make it official in that way whenever Maxie showed up and was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, but I can't find James. And so they had to put it on hold. But I'll be happy for them to
I did love Maxie. I did. Yeah. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you guys, but
right. Congratulations. I'm so sorry, but I need your help.
Yeah.
I'll be happy for it to actually happen and we can just move on from it then, because it's like, every week, are they going to? I don't really care that much for them to actually get it done. I just want to see the relationship bloom.
Yeah.
So,
well, especially where, okay, if a woman hold it, let me find exactly what she said. Hold on. Where's Sasha tells Michael he's a good husband for rolling with Willow's decision, and they discuss sacrificing for love. If Willow just went with Michael's decisions, would she be told what a great wife she is?
Right, exactly. And she's changed her mind about her career, and they already have an established nanny. It's not like that's changing anything in their household or their financial circumstances. So, good job, air quote, letting your wife decide her own career. What?
Yeah, no. I did kind of feel bad though when he walked in on the conversation because, okay, but this is what I was talking about. It was Sasha was looking adoringly at the hat. Willow happens to oversee her and they have girlfriend talk.
Yes.
Like, why are they not having coffee every morning as friends?
Right. They're literally in the same, not in the same house, but in the same plan.
Yep. So then she winds up telling, because Sasha is waiting for Drew to get there so that they can talk to the caterer. They have an important call with the caterer to go over the fundraising menu. And that's when Nina is telling him how capable Sasha is. She can figure it out on her own.
Right.
And he has the ego of Sasha just wants my approval on everything.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you didn't like that?
No. I can understand. Okay. If he feels that way, then tell her, I trust you.
Right.
Don't say that you'll be there.
Exactly.
And then make up all the stupid excuses of, I had to work late and blah, 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 blah. No, dude, you were not working.
Mm-hmm.
No. So.
I didn't understand why they didn't have Sasha go talk to Kristina too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because not trying to undermine Willow's loss at all, but it was not the same type of circumstances. Like Willow had already planned to give her baby away, thought that her baby was fine, and then found out afterwards about the fact that he passed from SIDS.
Yeah.
But she I guess she'd get the aspect of carrying a child with the intention of giving it up for adoption and that side of the loss. But I still feel like the connection that Kristina had would be more understood by Sasha and her loss.
Yeah.
Or even Sasha talking to Molly.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. That's, I don't really know where to go from there.
Trying to think. Oh, so then Cody and Sasha stop making out to go look for James. And Cody ends up finding James, diving into the water, saving him. And as he's having a heart-to-heart with James about how he can't keep running off like that, and he's so glad that he's okay, and whatever, Mac is standing there. And it all finally clicks between Felicia yelling at him and Maxie yelling at him, and seeing this interaction that, like, okay, maybe it's time to forgive Cody and kind of see where this goes or whatever. So he finally tells James that he can go ahead and take the riding lessons and whatever. And then he even tells him that that's his son. And he's like, so I have an uncle, and Mom, that's your brother.
Well, because James was like, so why are you mad at Cody then?
Right.
And good for Mac for being honest about all that, though. And my favorite part was when he told him, this is not your mom's decision. It was mine.
Right.
So he took that off of Maxie because Maxie was not correcting him. Right. Oh, but I loved Felicia at the park when she yelled at Mac and she's like, are you ready for this? This is going to have bad consequences. Are you really ready for this?
Right.
Yeah. So then, Gio, Brooklyn, and Lois were having breakfast at the boathouse, and Gio was sharing his doubts about his career, possibly not going anywhere because, if he's going to be exclusive at a gallery that's owned by a potential murderer, she is. And Lois is like, it's all going to go well despite Ava's legal status. And Brooklyn even chimed in and said, yeah, if anything, people are probably going to be more curious. And
right. I love that. I was like, sadly, she's correct. If something bad is going on, people want to look at it.
Yep. And he said, that's fine. He's like, I don't care about their opinions of Ava and everything. He's like, but I do care about the opinion of Uncle Sonny.
Yeah.
And Lois goes to bat for Sonny and says that he's not going to be a difficult, he's not going to care. He's not going to care. I do agree. I don't think that Sonny is going to tell Gio, no, you can't.
Absolutely.
But I understand Gio's point of view.
Right. No, it's good for him to be thinking just in case, but Sonny would never interfere with his career. And then I don't know how to connect that, but then this week I hate John even more than I did before.
Okay, did it feel like we were missing scenes again, though?
Yes.
Between, specifically when he went to the gallery to see Ava?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So I was paying attention just enough. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere that Ava's like, I don't know how I'm going to beat this. Like, no matter what, it looks like I pushed her. I did something to make her fall. And I didn't, blah, 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 blah. And John is like, well, it could be Kristina that's in big trouble. And Ava's like, what are you talking about? How am I going to spin that this pregnant girl that fell out a window is the one who's at fault here? And he says, well, we can say it's witness tampering. She came to your hotel room to yell at you and tell you that you couldn't testify against her father. And you happen to be a key witness in a FBI investigation against Sonny. And so that is like this big, huge deal. And I'm like, you're just such a pig. Like, really? You're so desperate to take Sonny down that you're going to send this innocent girl to prison after she just lost her baby, after she just fell through a window.
And Scott's involved.
Right.
And he's willing to do it because they're doing it for Karen. If they do not stop,
right?
I can't.
Never wanted any of this to happen. They're doing it to get justice for Karen. Kristina going to jail is not justice for Karen.
No, it's horrible. And I agree. Like, I am so surprised that Scott is so into using Kristina.
Mm-hmm.
I can absolutely see him being like, oh, because they want to move the pharmacist to Spoon Island. And Ava's like, why? Ava, you sold that place.
Right.
Are we forgetting that Ava no longer even owns it?
Mm-hmm. And it makes it so suspicious that that's where they're putting her, whether she owns it or putting him, whether she owns it or not. Like, I wonder where you hid the dead bodies. Oh, in your previous residence? That's a stretch. Like, come on.
Right. And we still don't know who actually bought it.
Right.
Can add that to our list of storylines that went nowhere. Who bought women here?
If he would, he said it was Valentin that paid him to cut Sonny's meds. Sonny just wants that information. Sonny doesn't care about the pharmacist. Like, yeah, he's going to be mad, but I don't see him taking out the pharmacist for listening to Valentin's demands.
Yeah.
Maybe like tell him he has to move far away or something. He doesn't want to see him again or whatever, or even get his license for being a pharmacist taken away. But killing him, I don't see Sonny doing that.
No, and when Jason finally found him, as Scott comes around the corner with his snacks, because they're going so far away, that Jason's like, dude, I don't want to kill you. I just need to know who did this. And he tells him it was Valentin.
Yep.
I don't know.
I'm just so mad that their scheming is all just so ridiculous, and that it ends up putting Kristina in jail.
Yeah.
So do you think that this is going to bring Kristina and Molly closer? Like Molly's going to have to defend Kristina and they're going to be closer? Or do you think Molly's going to be like, finally, the justice that I want is being served somewhere?
I think that Molly right now, especially with seeing the photo and TJ, I don't think she's going to. That's a really good question, because I feel like Molly is definitely, based on what she said to Alexis, thinking this is Kristina's fault. But I don't think she's thinking it's her fault in the same way that TJ does.
Right.
You know, she's like, man, why is my sister a Davis girl?
Yeah.
Like, couldn't she just be a Corinthos for a minute? Oh, wait.
Don't like that
But
idea
that's not
either.
much better than her being a Lansing. I mean, if she was a Lansing, or if she was acting like a Lansing,
right,
she'd be kidnapping people and holding them hostage while they're having babies. So
exactly.
I don't know. That's a really good question, because my first instinct is this is going to pull Kristina and Molly apart, but I don't think in the way that, I mean, you just kind of kicked it up a notch with now where Kristina is going to be prosecuted, is that,
Well, that's going to put Molly and Alexis on different sides. Like at that point, Alexis is going to have to choose. I can't let your sister sit in jail whenever I absolutely know this is not what happened. And
right.
This isn't the same crime. You can't say, oh, she's doing time for killing your baby, which isn't what she did anyway. But even if that's how you feel, this would be her going to jail for witness tampering, which is not what she was doing.
Yep.
And Molly's all about the law is supposed to be followed and used to prosecute people. Like she said to John just a couple weeks ago, you can't use old stuff to try to get Sonny. This case is about Carly. We have to focus on this. So for Kristina, they should be focusing just on, is she witness tampering? No. Okay, let her go.
Well, it's the same thing as when you see these big cases, or any case, really. Mm-hmm. There have been certain big cases where I'm like, the person's a jerk, hands down.
Right.
But I don't think they did what they did based on, or what they're being accused of, based on the evidence that's being at least shared with us.
Correct.
You know, and yeah, they might be the worst person in the world. They might be a horrible boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife, but that doesn't make them a murderer.
Right.
Okay, so I'll just say, I shared earlier in the summer about the Karen Reed trial, and there's a lot of people that think that she's guilty because, well, she kept smirking in court. She kept smirking when her attorneys caught the people trying to prove her guilty lying.
Right.
And that's like so many of the cops. Right. And it's been over 2 years that she's been promoted as being this boyfriend killer. And I would be happy if my attorney were proving them wrong. I would smirk too.
Right.
Okay. I at least cannot say that I wouldn't. And
right. You can't always control your face.
Right. I'm not saying that like she's the greatest. I don't know her obviously as a person. They obviously were having some relationship problems. I'm not saying they weren't. I'm saying what she's being accused of. I don't think she's guilty.
It's definitely not proven by the fact she was smirking.
Exactly. And that's what I had someone who I'm very surprised that was her response. Cause I'm like, she's kind of nerdy like I am. And I'm like, why, how do you think that? But yeah, so you're exactly right. Like, even if what Kristina is guilty of is witness tampering, which, how's it witness tampering if she was the witness?
Because they're saying that somehow she knew that Ava was a witness in taking Sonny down for the FBI, even though Ava's not. Like, they're fabricating the fact that Ava was ever a witness, because she was not.
That's right.
And I'm not sure how Kristina would have found that out. Like, nowhere do you have Kristina saying anything like, oh, I had to say to Ava, it was mean that she was going to testify against my dad for the FBI or something. Like, there's no conversation that's been had that's anything like that with anyone that they can bring forward to say, oh, she knew that Ava was going to be a part of that case against Sonny.
And there's nothing in writing anywhere.
Right.
Like, you would have had to have already had so many details and
And the FBI has never been going for Sonny. Like, isn't somebody in the FBI going to turn around and be like, why is there suddenly paperwork for this case that you have against Sonny using this chick, Ava, as a witness when we never authorized a case against Sonny? You were in Port Charles for Pikeman. Pikeman is now done. Get out.
So that could bridge us with Brennan, because now, after 30 years, after we have the Aztec Princess, the Ice Princess, the Asian Quarter, now the WSB decides to have a station, the Prometheus disc, which I don't know anything about. But after all of that, now, I did like Brennan's response, though. Hold on, I did write this down. Oh, where is it? He said that they attract criminal enterprises and the WSB has to intervene so frequently that they decided to open up a permanent field office, and he is now the station chief. I did like that. But do you think that maybe there's something? Well, no, because why would the WSB be trying to protect Sonny?
I don't know, but I feel like everyone eventually ends up having a truce with Sonny where it's like, if you give us this information, we won't arrest you. I'm sure that Sonny, as much as he may be a bigger fish for the FBI, that he has information on someone even bigger.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Because that's just what I'm thinking. I'm like, because it makes sense that, he invited Carly to his room.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that you're not happy he's back. I like him. I like him so much.
I'm just mad, as much as Valentin was not my favorite person, I'm mad that they made Valentin leave to have Brennan here.
Well, no, that he can come back.
I don't think he's going to, though.
Shush.
Hey.
I will not tolerate that kind of language.
All right. I'm sorry.
I don't think it's going to be Brennan instead of Valentin. It'll just be like a temporary, because Brennan even said, Valentin's obviously okay.
Right. Poor Laura. That's who needs a phone call from Charlotte.
So we'll jump ahead to where Laura calls in Brennan and Anna and asks them to find Valentin. And then Brennan leaves and Laura gets a phone call and it's Lulu.
Yep. Or something about Lulu.
If she is not waking up.
Yeah.
If they are killing Lulu, there is zero reason to do that.
Yeah. Right now is not the time. It's not a good enough storyline. Dante and Sam need to be engaged first or something.
Right. And her hand just moved recently, right?
Right. When Dante was there with Laura. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she's alive. But Lulu was also born in August. So maybe it's just she woke up and said, it's my birthday or happy birthday, whatever it was Frosty said.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
So if they kill Lulu for no reason, killing Luke was pointless. But Anthony Geary's done.
Right. Right. And killing Lulu at this point doesn't make any sense. Like, why'd you keep her alive as long as you have if you're just going to kill her now?
Right. Exactly. So that's just not happening. Okay, cool. We don't have to talk about that anymore.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Thanks.
I mean, there's really nothing to talk about, though. But
no. Just
although I did think it was funny when Laura got the phone call about Brennan, or called Anna in first, and she said something about how the WSB now has a station here and Brennan, and Anna tells her who Brennan is. She goes, the guy that you just arrested and then lost all of his records and he escaped and all these things, that Brennan? And Anna's like, yeah.
Yep, that's it.
That's the one. I really don't know what else to really talk about. Tracy and all her wonderfulness this week.
Oh, yes. I wanted to be invited to that tea party. That was so cute.
So on Tuesday at the Quartermaine mansion, there's little Violet sitting at the breakfast bar with her stuffed animals all lined up in their own chairs. And Tracy comes in with a tray with a full tea service on it, a proper full tea service. And it was Lila's.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was beautiful.
It was. And Tracy apologized. She's like, I know that tea is typically between 4 and 5. And Violet said, you can have tea anytime. And Tracy tells her what a great quality adaptability is. And Violet talks about the tea set. And she tells her about that it's Lila's. And Violet asked if Lila liked tea parties. And Tracy told her that she's an English woman. So she had tea almost every afternoon. And then Violet said that she always seems so nice, like in her photos and the way that everyone talks about her. And Tracy said that she was, but she was someone who could put them in their place and still be kind.
Mm-hmm.
And that she was a perfect blend of fun and elegance. And then Violet's like, what the heck does elegance mean? And then she asked Tracy if she was elegant. And she's like, sometimes. And then she said something. Why did she I think she told her never to wear animal prints because of Lois, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then Violet's like, but I love my animals. And Tracy said something about putting everything out on the lawn for an obstacle course. And Violet said, oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun. And Tracy said, oh, we'd have to, or no, but Violet said we'd have to talk to Monica. And Tracy said something about, oh, I don't know if we have to do that. And then Violet says, but it's her house. Alan gave it to her.
I heard he was a nice guy too, blah, blah, blah. And Tracy's like, Alan was a pushover and shouldn't have given his wife this house. And she's like,
Violet said that his photos were always, he either looks very fun or serious. And Tracy said, yes, that was definitely Alan.
Yes. And she reminded her, well, you should be happy that Monica got the house because that gives you a place to live.
Yes. But then Tracy did ask her who told her to tell her specifically that the house was Monica's. And Violet said, everybody.
Mm-hmm. It's just a known fact.
And then Tracy went to the stables and brought the backgammon game to teach Cody. But it turns out, and they had a great conversation just about, friendships, and Finn, and Cody shares with her that he has had friends also go to rehab, so he understands how difficult it is. And as they're playing, which I don't understand how Tracy missed this because she did not have to give him any instructions.
Right, exactly. That game, I don't know that it's that hard to play, but it looks complicated. Like you look at that board and the markers and you're like, where am I supposed to slide this? I don't understand. And he just picks up the chips and is like, okay, let's play.
Right. Because then he winds up winning. And she says beginner's luck. And he's like, I never said I didn't know how to play. You just assumed I didn't.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think that's really it, though.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Oh, Jason and Sonny continue to talk about the pills and everything. I just like that they're friends again.
Yeah, it's about time.
Okay, so what's your
reality check?
What did I do fun this week? I don't think I did anything fun this week. Getting Madeline ready for school. Anyone who follows us on Facebook saw her popcorn fundraiser for cheer. Thank you to anyone who purchased some popcorn. We appreciate it. And Megan has surgery next week for her heart surgery that we had been talking about for the past year and a half. So that's finally next week. And I think that's pretty much it. Just, you know how it is back to school time, whether you have kids entering school or not. It's almost like the new year where you just have to kind of get everything together and figured out and stuff. So that's where I'm at. I'm happy this year Madeline gets a bus, so I don't have to figure out time to get her to and from school, because last year she had to walk. So that makes me happy. And just trying to make the best of like the last few days. She went to Kennywood with Ryan and my brother Friday, and then yesterday we spent like all day at my mom's house because it was my niece and nephew's birthday. So we had just like a family day of hanging out or whatever. So it was nice, but yeah, nothing stands out as crazy exciting. But I guess that's probably better most weeks. So
that's true. That is true.
How about you?
So Monday, Erica, my daughter, and I went and had pedicures, and we were just going to do pedicures and pizza. And we decided on the way home, where we went was near the zoo. And on our summer to-do list was to go to the zoo, and we hadn't gone yet. And it's one of my daughter's favorite places in the world to be. Mm-hmm. And Erica saw the sign and she's like, we should go to the zoo. I went, okay. So we did. Because I didn't have it. I didn't have anyone calling me. And our zoo it's a good zoo. You could definitely spend the whole day there, but you can definitely do it in like 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I was like, even if somebody calls me right now, like there's nothing that I'm anticipating being an emergency. So,
right.
We took her to the zoo, and that was fun. And then Wednesday, my daughter and I had her hearing for her disability, and I think that it went well. And then I kind of just feel like I zoned out the rest of the week. We had something called Future Fest yesterday, which was like a celebration of her most recent camp that she did. And it had like a little bit of a resource fair and stuff like that. And this must be the week for surgeries because Erica's having surgery on her ACL on Tuesday. So, and I had another friend whose husband was supposed to be having surgery tomorrow.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So interesting.
Mm-hmm.
His has to get rescheduled though. But yeah, I guess it's the week for surgeries.
Guess so.
Yeah, I guess nothing really that exciting. We won't find out the results of the hearing for another, according to the judge, 30 to 60 days. But according to my attorney, it could be closer to 3 months. And I'm like, yeah, I read that. So we'll see.
Which
but
is so ridiculous.
I know.
I feel like, if you go to a hearing for murdering someone, it doesn't usually take months and months and months. Like you present your information and then they make a decision and that is that. So why does that have to take months and months and months whenever it comes to disability? Like you present all the doctor's information from over the years, you present your letters from people who deal with them on the daily basis. I don't know. I remember going through it all for my daughter and I was like, can't you just make a decision? Like, here's the information. I feel like you have a gut feeling of yes or no.
Right. And especially where this is our third time because she's already been denied twice on paper. And this time they finally met her. So,
right. Exactly.
And there was a portion where she started to cry and couldn't answer the questions and got frustrated and confused. And they let her leave so that I could talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. I feel like we have the answer here.
Right. And regardless, obviously we know that we want them to find in favor of you. But even if that's not the decision, like right now it's fresh in your mind. You just got to speak to your daughter. If you think that she doesn't qualify, you're going to remember that feeling of, no, they're kind of stretching it now more than 3 months from now, whenever you're like, you've already met with 12 other people and you're like, wait, which one was that?
Right. Exactly.
I don't get it.
So, yeah.
But whatever. Me whining about it won't change it. I just don't understand.
Tell me about it. I know. But yeah, so I'm excited to talk about Miguel on Thursday, though. Well, yes. For Thursday.
You will have to go onto YouTube and watch some of his videos, though. You deserve to see his beautifulness and not just his looks. He is a very attractive man, but the personality that they gave him is what is more attractive. So.
Well, because the only thing I've seen him obviously sing, but then the only other thing that I've seen him in was BJ's storyline.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Alrighty.
So join us on Thursday as we talk about Miguel Morez.
Have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.